The NFL is opening up its season with an additional game. Now there's a Friday night in Brazil this year, and they found yet another loophole to soak us for cash. Except this one also stomps on one of America's greatest institutions, high school football. Hey, before we go any further, remember to subscribe to this channel. Just click on this button below me. Notifications coming out every time there's a new video. You see, the Sports Broadcasting Act of 1961 has protected high school football for more than 70 years from the ever-reaching tentacles of the money-thirsty NFL, and that's what it was intended to do. Friday night lights are the fabric that makes up our country, especially sporting-wise. From suburbs to small towns, back road one-stop light locales to freeway rivalries, high school football defines us far more than the NFL ever could. The team in your hometown, like my hometown, are still a bunch of kids that hit up that local deli for a turkey sandwich. They still roll through that park after dark because there's no adults there, and wear your colors and sing your fight song and play on that same field. And yet, the NFL is no longer respecting that. Until now, they've been forced to, because that Sports Broadcasting Act of 1961, way back during the JFK administration, was put in place to prevent the NFL from playing games on Fridays and Saturdays in order to protect attendance at high school and college football games. Now, as a result, the NFL has pretty much avoided scheduling games on Fridays for a long time. Between 1971 and last year, we had only 10 Friday games in the NFL's history. 2 on Christmas Eve, 2 on Christmas, 1 on New Year's Eve. And all of them, except one, were played in December. In other words, the NFL waited until high school football was over to play December Friday games. And half were on a holiday. There was one October game on a Friday in 2005 when the Chiefs played the Dolphins, but that was because Hurricane Wilma knocked it off of Sunday afternoon. This past season, however, you may remember the first ever Black Friday game, which spilled the NFL into a November date, certainly stretching this concept of not interfering with high school football since, lots of states have their playoffs and championship games on Thanksgiving weekend. By law, it was legal because it was played in the afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Had it been played at night, it would have run afoul of the Sports Broadcasting Act of 1961. There you go. It's a holiday. People are home. We can play it in the afternoon. Ethically, though, the NFL is now bleeding into foul territory. Yeah, the high school season was over for most teams, and attending the state title game should really not come at the expense of watching the Jets on TV. But the NFL, in its never-ending search to shove as many football instruments down our throats as our mouths are crowbarred open to the dentist's office, has found a 2-year loophole to play on a Friday in September. And that's why we're getting the Eagles and another team from Brazil to open up the season on a Friday night. Because the NFL always kicks off after Labor Day weekend. And Labor Day this year falls on Monday the 2nd. Next year, 2025, Labor Day falls on Monday, September 1st, which means the first Friday of September is the NFL's opening weekend. And that happens to be the one Friday exempt from the Sports Broadcasting Act of 1961. Aren't you glad you know this now? The NFL is allowed a Friday night game only on the first Friday of September. Now again, legally, fine, but is it ethically okay? Of course not. This year, Friday, September 6th, will be smack dab in the middle of the high school football season for every town in America. And this rule was created to prevent the NFL from sitting its gigantic Gilbert Brown-sized butt on the football couch and knocking off all of our high school kids and parents. But this is not about what's ethically right for the NFL. The only thing that matters is the amount of money they can make from you and me. Based on this rule, the NFL cannot play on Saturdays until college football season's over. Which is why in December, we now start having Saturday triple headers and flex scheduling. as the league sells that TV package to its partners with better matchups for better prices. Haha, now it's all haphazardly coming together like a Dan Campbell fourth down decision. The NFL has tapped out the American consumer. There's only so many tickets we can buy, parking passes we can have, jerseys we can order, even as we keep purchasing them all in record amounts. And so the next land to frack for fishers of cash? The international audience. And how do you sandwich a trip to Brazil into the NFL season? The closest flight from the US to Brazil leaves from Miami, and that's 11 hours in the air direct. So that's twice as long as a flight to London or Germany, even from the East Coast. So instead of having the Eagles play, say, the Cowboys in week 6 and then traveling to Brazil, they open the season in Brazil on a Friday night, killing 2 green birds with 1 wallet. Extort your American television audience for yet another primetime event, even at the cost of high school football, and squeeze your international money out of a new market. Bada bing, bada boom. All while telling the Eagles and their opponents, you get to wrap up the preseason, have that week off before the season, then travel to Brazil when you'll be rested and healthy ahead of your 12-hour flight. If the NFL wasn't so crass in its greed already, perhaps they could be publicly shamed. I mean, you're stomping on high school football now? But how? The NFL has sold important regular season games to the international series already. They've taken away Dolphins-Chiefs and placed it in Germany. That was perhaps the biggest regular season game of the year, Tyreek Hill against his old team. They've added a 17th game to have one more date for every squad to sell overseas. They've grabbed Thanksgiving Day triple headers and Christmas triple headers so that your family time and dinner time and kids time and Christmas present time is all swallowed by the new big screen TV on the wall with Jim Nantz and Tony Romo joining you for your holidays. And now they've added a Black Friday game so that you should be sitting home on your day off watching football instead of shopping for any of your family. And a playoff game on Peacock so that you should be signing up for a new streaming service as well. You want to watch the postseason, don't you? And now you should also miss your hometown's high school football game because Brazil needs its football fix too. Of course, none of us have to watch any of it. We can choose to ignore this league. Who cares about the NFL? We can take a stand. But they know we can't quit it. And they'll exploit that every chance they can. Now, high school football, move aside. Go team. Hey, thanks for watching, everybody. Remember to subscribe to this channel. Click on this button right here to my left. Also, leave comments. I promise I'll get back to the first 20 people that respond in the comments section. Love hearing from you guys. We've had some really smart, really good conversations under these videos, and I really appreciate the community that we are building here on the channel. Appreciate you watching. Watch DA. Once again, click on this button to subscribe. I'm DA, Damon Amendolara. We'll see you next time.